Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Mr. Freddie Joyner. He's a youth educator, and he is a person that you should know. Greetings, Mr. Joyner.
How you doing today?
All right, I have a family member in Chicago, Joyner, but he spells his name Joiner, Joyner,
Yeah.
And but yours is Joyner,
Yes.
Joyner. Okay.
Yes.
But I'd like to mention to the listening audience that this show is produced by Jerry Archibald. He's a Waukegan Township Precinct Commitment, number 370. He is the reason why you're here. As a matter of fact, he's your brother-in-law, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Very good. I have to give credits there for credits due there.
That's fine.
But tell us, we're going right into it, your early life. You mentioned that you are blind, totally blind,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But tell us what happened. Let's start with you were dropped out of high school.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now tell us about your early high school experience. Why did you drop out of high school?
Well, at the age of 13, that's when I lost my dad. He
Okay.
was my mentor and everything. And after losing him, everything just
Fell apart.
just wasn't right. You know,
Okay,
it
I
was
understand.
it was hard for me to accept his death. I didn't know what death was, and I became a problem kid then. I got to run the streets. One thing I never did, I never got into the game, but I did start selling drugs.
Okay.
Got into selling drugs, and just basically my life was a cruise. I was making, money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just continued doing that, and I got married at an early age, which I was 22 years of age.
Okay.
So basically, when my dad passed away, I had to look up to like my brothers and uncles and cousins. They became my mentor, and I some of the things they taught me, it was not good for a youth to learn.
Okay.
Like I say, when as I went through life and I became, I was 22 years old. I got married very young. My wife, she was 20. I was
Okay.
22. My first child we had was I was 19 and she was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I kept selling the drugs, but eventually I started using the drugs. I started cheating. I was living a bad life.
Okay.
Everything, just started going wrong. So when me and her separated, finally because of my cheating and the drugs, they basically, gave me friends and gave me a lot of attention. I liked the type of lifestyle.
Okay.
So we finally, we separated. I think I was about the age of 29, somewhere up in there. And at the same time, I had a daughter, my middle daughter, she passed away at the age of 4. All this happened at the same time. So I really got strung out on heroin then.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would help me, make it through my problems and everything. But,
Okay.
it just made my life, even worse. So as life went on, I had a son out of wedlock,
Mm-hmm.
and life was steady, on the downfall. It was just getting worse and worse because I hid that I was doing drugs for, years that nobody know.
Okay.
But I really wanted help.
Mm-hmm.
But I was afraid to tell anyone because, I was thinking that they would look down on me and everything. So when at the age of 34, well, I did get my life somewhat on track. I was trying. I left Chicago and I moved out here to Waukegan. I was working 2 jobs, but the money wasn't fast enough for me, so I went back to the city. And then at the age of 34, that's when my life took a total change.
Now, what happened at age 34?
Well, one night, I went to the casino and I lost my money, and
Okay.
so and I didn't have a way of getting back to Waukegan. I didn't have a way, money to get back and forth to work or feed myself. So I went out and decided to, sell drugs to earn some money. So, I have money to, get back to work and everything.
Okay.
So approximately, before, it's so strange that at that time I had 2 warrants on myself. That night before I got shot, about 45 minutes before I got shot, the detectives, they pulled up on the curb and they had like 12 of us around the car.
Okay.
And they were searching and they got down to the last 3, which I was one of the last 3, and they it was a young lady. She was waiting on me. So the detective cop asked her, said, "Well, what is you waiting on?" And she said, "Well, I'm waiting on my man." So they said, "Get him and get up out of here." And at the time, I had dropped 15 cocaine rocks in my underwear. So it was like I escaped jail. But 45 minutes later, I was shot.
Now, was this an intentionally shot? They were gunning for you, or was this a accidental shot?
Well, my understanding that there was a rival war between 2 gangs, the Vice Lords and the Dog Pound.
Okay.
And they were shooting at the person, supposed to have been shooting at the person that was standing by me. And I took a step forward and I took that person's shot. I didn't, feel anything. It felt like a mosquito. It hit me in my eye, and your reflection that, you grab, like if some dirt or something hit you in your eye, which it hit me in my left eye, and I automatically threw my hands up. And I did see the blood in my hand, and when I raised my hands up, the last thing my sight was on the church door. So that's the last thing I seen.
So that was directly into your left eye, and that was it. Your left eye was gone.
Yeah. What it did, the bullet, it traveled through my left eye, it went behind my nose, it went behind my right eye, which my right eye is still alive, but my retina and my optic nerve is got damaged, I guess, from the heat of the bullet, and the bullet came out right below my right temple.
So actually, you're blessed then to even be alive then. Right?
Very, very blessed, because they didn't think that I was gonna make it, but God took away the pain, and I guess it just wasn't my time to go. So I went to the hospital, and I was in there for like 6 days. They let me out, and I still somewhat lived that constructive life. I still thought that I could still sell drugs and everything, and but that's when my life it changed. I mean, it really actually changed. That as like 6 or 7 months later, I started getting depressed. I even thought about killing myself. I started back using drugs. I had friends that would go get it, bring it to me. Longest they could get, what they want, they didn't care,
Even after being shot in the eye, you still went back to selling drugs.
I tried it twice.
Okay.
I did try it twice doing it. I even tried bagging the stuff up myself, where I was able to bag it up myself.
Okay. Okay, now, life did not end at that point. You decided to, you're a high school dropout, but you decided to go back to school. Tell us about that decision that you made.
Well, when I decided to go back to school, it was a lot of accomplishments, other accomplishments I had to do. I had to go to Ickery Woods for computer skills,
Okay.
Braille, and other things that would help me live independent and live within society.
Okay.
So I did that in '97, and after completing that, I did come back to Waukegan, and I worked it for Goodwill. I worked it at the Navy base
okay.
in the scullery. I did that for 2 years and a half blind, and some of the people said they didn't believe I was blind because, you know, I had the capability of, you know, doing that. I had the capability of getting around this large place, you know, on my own. Sometimes I would get a little stuck, but I would manage. I even at one while, well, before I moved to Waukegan, I was staying in Bensonville. I learned to catch the public transportation, like the bus, over to like the Rosemont.
You were catching a bus
by myself.
By yourself, blind?
Yes, no dog, no nothing, by myself. And I learned to go from there, from Bensonville all the way down to Wood Street in Roosevelt to the Lighthouse on my own.
Okay.
So, like I said, after, you know, I did that. I did that for, you know, a couple years. And but that I still hadn't decided, you know, to go back. You know, while I was trying to build myself, because I was like, you know, well, how is I'm gonna go back to school? You know, I feel that, you know, I couldn't do it. So, but I finally made up my mind that I said, well, you know, it's something missing in my life that, you know, I need to, you know, do some things. But what it was, you know, I was missing my kids. They were staying out in the western suburbs. So, and I said, well, you know, if I quit this job, you know, I move back out there with them, I'm gonna go to school. So, in which I did. I went back out there, and I started studying for my GED. I went to College DePage, and I think I passed the English class, and there was another class. So after I did them, I had 3 more classes that I had to take, so which I could study at home, and whenever I felt that I, you know, wanted to take the class, you know, I go take it, and so which that's what I did, and I passed the class. Then I move on to another one.
Okay.
So when I accomplished that, and like, you know, whether it was easy, I said I wish, you know, I would have did this here when I was, you know, younger, you know. But at that time, you know, my head wasn't screwed on right. I thought that because I had street knowledge that I didn't need an education, you know, to survive and everything. So that was in 2005 when I got my GED. So and I said, well, you know, I want more. Now I'm gonna go to college. So 2006, I enrolled in classes at College DePage. I got into the Human Services program, and as between 2006 and 2010, the classes, I learned so much, you know, things that I didn't know as about cross culture. I mean, it was a lot, and it was very interesting. I learned about different disorders, and it was very interesting to me. So, but anyway, I finally graduated in May of 2010 from College DePage. So, and feel that I wanted more. So when I said, well, let me find, a good college that, I could finish with human service degree. So I went to National Louis University, the Laos campus.
The Lions campus, okay.
So when I went there to 2011, it was somewhat, difficult, but I managed all the all the classes. It wasn't the same. I had to use different tools to finish the class. Some classes I got away with just using the computer or using a recorder, but not like when it came down to the math. That was a whole totally different story. I was so afraid. I'm like, I done got this far. God, you done brought me this far. I know you're not gonna let me fail it. But my algebra class, I took. I got a C in the class. I barely made it. But then I took my geometry. I passed with a B. So when I feel that, more comes. So my last class I had to take was college algebra, and I passed that with an A. That was my last class that I took, and I'm finna graduate.
Now tell me this, now you attended a rehabilitation center. Was that in preparation of getting you prepared for college?
Well,
in
the case you could say yes and no. What I needed from them was how was I going to do the assignments and everything. So basically, the rehabilitation they teach you computer skills like Excel, spreadsheet, PowerPoint, those things there. And in college, you do need those, skills. So I did. Matter of fact, after I graduated from National Louis, I just completed that class maybe about maybe three months ago.
Okay.
So I freshened my skills up. I went to a place called Dunker out in Wheaton, and I learned to sell. Spreadsheet, PowerPoint, Microsoft Office 7 and 8. So I have, those skills up under my belt.
Also, you receive a domestic violence certificate too, right?
Yes, that was part of one of the courses that I took. That's part of human services, domestic violence, addiction. I got addiction 1 and 2. Basically, all I need is to take the test, a CDC test, to be a professional addiction counselor.
Yeah, I have in my hand here that you provide, of course, the National Organization for Human Services Honor Society. It's Theta Epsilon Alpha.
Yes.
This associate level certificate of membership is presented to Freddie Joyner of College of DuPage, Glen Ellen, Illinois, Alpha Gamma chapter, in recognition of academic and professional excellence in human services, and is hereby granted all the rights, honors, and privileges pertaining to the society. In testimony whereof, we have hereto affixed our signatures and the great seal of the society on this 3rd day of May 2010. Signed by the national president and also the collegiate chapter advisor. This is fantastic. Okay, yes. So you have that. You have other certifications here that the writing was too small. I couldn't put it on the screen. As a matter of fact, I may just take a look here. This is National Louis University, 1886. National Louis University, the trustees and the university, by virtue of the authority vested in them, and on the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Arts and Sciences, have conferred upon Freddie L. Joyner Sr. the degree of Bachelor of Arts given at Chicago, Illinois, this 15th day of April, 2014.
That's it.
So you just completed it.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I didn't get on the screen, I had a chance to read it there.
Mm-hmm.
So you received an Associate of Science degree in 2006 from DuPage College, Glen Ellen
Mm-hmm.
College there, Glen Ellen, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
which is a community college.
Mm-hmm.
Received your BA, National Louis University,
Mm-hmm.
College of Arts and Sciences, the 21st of June, 14 was your graduation date.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations! I just have to congratulate you.
Thank
Now
you.
you have with you assistants. Your cane, is that right? So tell us about the cane that you.
Well, this cane here, this is my eyes. It
Okay.
Usually, has worked. They when I was first taught mobility, as you 1 feet go forwards, the cane, it goes like a tap.
Okay.
You had to, as you walk forwards, you had to like this here, and as
Okay.
if you move when you move your right feet
Okay.
forwards, the cane goes to the left, and what it does, it protects your shoulder from hitting any walls, and
Okay.
also it lets you know ahead of time when if something in front of you, that there's something there. Also, they taught skills that how to walk downstairs.
Okay.
As you going down the stairs, you let your cane drop, not drop to the floor, but drop every time it go down the stairs. So that tells you that there's more steps there.
Right.
Or even if you're outside and if you stepping up on the sidewalk and your cane is out in front of you, it's gonna hit that sidewalk to let you know that the sidewalk is there, and then you just come up with your cane to see how tall it is before you step up.
Fantastic.
So it's a nice thing, like I say, it help you maneuver, get around.
Now in North Chicago, you have your own apartment.
Well, I just moved up here maybe about a month ago.
Okay.
I'm staying with my nephew right now. But,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to having my own apartment. Right now, I'm seeking employment, and that's part of my challenge. Right there, that because of my disability of being vision impaired, I'm not giving. It's kind of hard for employees, I guess, to give me a chance, and basically if I had that chance to the opportunity to utilize my skills to work and live a productive life. That's what I'm trying to do, just like everyone else. If I'm just given an opportunity.
There are agencies that provide assistance, and hopefully one of those agencies, maybe you're watching the program, who knows?
Well, I'm hoping that would be nice, and maybe it could be a second show that someone recognize me and look at all the credentials I have, and it took 7 years. Well, actually 7 years of college, but also it took me like a year or so for my GED and the other things I had to do. But I was proactive, and I planned and I set goals, and that's how I scribed, and I just did what I had to do.
And victim of a crime at 34 years old, shot by a stray bullet, and then you went to start your educational pursuits.
Yes.
Got your GED, your associate degree, and also your Bachelor of Arts degree from a prestigious college.
Yes.
The National Louis University.
Yes.
This is so, Mr. Joyner, you've had some real challenging experiences in your life, but you never gave up, never thought about giving up.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this, that my father left the home when I was 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have the mother and my aunt there, you know, that's been with me all the way through up until, you know, she passed away at, my mother passed away at 90 years old, my aunt passed away at 91. But I had that support coming through. But you didn't have that support when your father passed.
No.
And so then you were, what, 13 you said?
Yeah, I was 13, and actually what I had was the environment. The environment and...
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
The environment pretty much raised me. You know,
Okay.
like I said, I got out there, just like what's going on today, you know, is absent, you know. You got one parent at home probably working, the child is left alone by themselves,
Okay.
and the environment, you know, takes over, and the kid become, you know, learn behavior problems, and just because it's what I think, because, you know, it's just one parent there. You know, most likely it's probably the father is gone.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
it's absent, you know, from there, you know, and it can be, you know, it don't make a difference, the boy or the girl. You know, the girl need, you know, a man figure to, you know, grow up with, the, you know, choose the right man, you know.
Right.
You know, and the same thing with, you know, a boy. You know, he need a father there, you know, to give him guidance and structure, you know. And when that is not there, you know, that lead, you know, to, you know, a troubled child.
Right. Now, tell us about growing up in the 1970s on the west side of Chicago.
Well, 1970s on the west side of Chicago, what I can say is way different from now. Actually back then it was we didn't really go out of our neighborhood.
Okay.
Back then, neighbors, they looked out for one another. They looked out for one another kids. They fed each other kids. The only time we left, you know, to go out of the neighborhood, if we went to a grocery store that, you know, that was either out of the neighborhood, or if you went to high school, you know, then, you know, it's a change. It's a multicultural. You know, you had what it was is that you had to fight for superiority because you had a different ethnicity, you know, at the high schools. And if you all the time just was stuck in your neighborhood, you know, you wasn't used to it. You know, it was a shock, you know.
Now, I had a friend of mine. Folks still live on the west side of Chicago, from California, and they came back and visited their parents. But I guess it's a different west side now than it was then, though, right?
Yeah, it's way different. It's more violent. It's not. You really had to. It don't make it. I don't think it. You know, it don't matter what block you go to. You just have to be careful. You know, it's so much. Kids is getting shot, you know, because now it's, you know, it's just out of control. There's no, back then, like in the 70s, 80s, you had gang leaders that controlled things, but now everybody is just a free fall. You know, they don't have no bosses or, you know, whatever you want to call them.
So we may call them accidental shootings, a person at the wrong place at the wrong time, and this type of thing.
Yeah.
Just, bullets are just
ringing out, you know.
All over.
Yeah, they just, you know, maybe not even aim, whoever they shooting at, they probably not even shooting at them, they just start shooting.
Okay. Amazing. And I was noticing by another count that younger people are getting guns now.
Yeah.
It's in the young. How do they get guns?
Well, I wish I had the answer for the. Some of them people that own guns, they break in their house, they might steal them, or they buy them. I guess some of the gun places somehow I don't know how they get them, but they just pop up, and they say that they destroy a lot of them, but I don't know. Because a gun is very easy to get now.
Right. And the people that control the guns make it easier for people to get guns. I know it's their almighty dollar. It seems like.
Right. If you got the money, you can get a gun, and it don't make a difference how old you are. At least back in the '70s, that I think it was kind of hard for you to. Well, it was kind of hard for you to get a gun, but it wasn't as violent as it is now.
Okay. Because look at Chicago they're the gun capital of the country. There, it really is. More people getting killed. I think one weekend about 82 people got shot, and
I think that was the 4th of July weekend.
Wow.
And it's spreading. Now it's out in the northern suburbs, the south suburbs, the west suburbs, and it's just getting worse and worse. And the kids, they don't have, they just got too much time on their hand. They want to be grown so quick because, like I said, that maybe they don't have both parents there, or their parents on drugs or something. They don't have no respect or morals for no one, and they just, I don't know, now they just quick to kill. You can't even really say anything to them.
We talked about the west side of Chicago, and I mentioned a judge in this area. Each time he give a talk, he mentioned that he's raised on the west side of Chicago. He needed 2 sets of books. One set of books remain at the school, and the other set of books remain at home. He couldn't be caught carrying books, from school to his home. Well, what about the North Chicago residents? I know you haven't been here very long. You mentioned just a few months.
Yeah.
And so you might tell me, how did you get to North Chicago? I know we mentioned that your brother-in-law is Jerry Archibald married your sister. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that how you got up here?
Well, how I ended up coming here, right after I finished school, I said that I was going to start seeking a job. I stayed out in DePage, which in Bensenville.
Okay.
And it's, I say, middle class, I can pretty much say.
Okay.
And I just feel, I said, well, I think it's going to be a hard time for me to find a job here. And I don't know, they just stuck with my mind. And I have 2 sons, a 21 and a 17-year-old, which he'll be 17 Friday. And their mom, she's a nurse. And I didn't want to, to leave, but I said, they pretty good. My son, he's 21. He goes to college at Page. Also, he do aviation, and he work at O'Hare Airport. So I say, well, he would be a good mentor for his brother. My youngest son, he in his last year of high school. Actually, I think he gonna graduate early in December.
Okay.
And something just kept telling me, well, you need to go, to North Chicago. You need, to go there. I didn't understand what, and I think it's a higher power that, told me, because I never, I always thought about my family,
Okay.
I sacrificed. And
Okay.
I came here, right now where I'm staying, where my first, I think probably the first 3 nights or something, where it was the 4th of July, I stay around by 10th Street, so it's a dividing line between the Kings and the Moes and the Foes.
Okay.
And they was just shooting up, and
Wow.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, why did I come here? Did I come here to die, or what?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm starting to see is that I'm really starting to use my skills,
Mm-hmm.
as being a professional counselor, as I'm involved with people that that is alcoholics, that's done had
Mm-hmm.
trauma, that have done had a rough childhood, people's with ADD, ADHD, and and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking, and I'm helping them through problems. So it's starting to make sense that the reason I came here was because I think it's more help that is needed out here than in DePage. And even though my family is worried about, but I tell them I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something is going to happen good, good for me here. And
Mm-hmm.
just like Sunday, we was at what is it?
Toby's.
Toby's.
Yeah,
We was at Toby's.
I didn't go. You may tell
Yeah.
us how do we meet in Toby's?
Well, before we met at
And
Toby's,
I'm sure it's God's plan. There's no doubt
yeah.
about it. Okay.
Well, before we met at Toby's, it was on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday, and I wasn't gonna go to church, and
Okay.
I said, you know what, I'm going to church. So usually I go to church with my sister, but she had to work that day. So I called
Okay.
my brother-in-law Jerry
Okay.
and asked him, was he going to church, and he said yeah. So he came and picked me up,
Okay.
and we went to church. So it was, the service was nice and everything. So and
And that's
after,
let's see, that's Greater Faith Church Baptist.
yes sir,
Reverend
yes sir,
Jordan.
yes
Pastor.
sir. So and after church, he said, we're gonna go to Toby's. So and I said, I ain't got no money, Jerry. He said, I'm gonna treat you this time. So
Okay.
we went there. We sitting out in there eating. So Jerry got up from the table, and that's when he, I guess, approached you, and he was talking to you, and he brought you over to the table.
Right. Right.
And I don't think he recognized that I was blind. And Jerry
No,
got
just had shades on.
yeah. So Jerry got to telling you that I'm vision impaired, and that I just graduated from college, and
Okay.
I think that kind of caught your attention.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always interested in educators,
Yeah.
And the next thing, I asked Jerry, I say, what you think he'd mind being on my TV show? And
Yeah.
this is one of the ways I get my guests.
Yeah.
I met, not planned, and I've been having shows. Let's see, when I started about 1993,
Yeah.
and I haven't missed a week yet.
Yeah.
And when I meet people like yesterday, this would be an outstanding program. Jerry told me he's blind,
Mhm.
and telling me all about the experiences that you've had right quickly. It went right quickly. He was saying about the education that you had and what you were doing and so forth.
Mhm.
And I say, this would be an outstanding guest for my show.
Mhm.
And I was kidding him. I said, I'm sure my ratings will go up.
I hope they do. I hope.
And so, but I would say this would be an interesting. Let people know
Mhm.
that even though you've had not so desirable bring it up, not because of something that you have done, but be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so Jerry said, sure, I can arrange that. And I say, would you, I'll give you a call, or you call me, we exchange phone numbers, and we'll discuss on the phone the topics that we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you didn't give me a chance to call, you called me because you're excited.
Right.
About being on. So you
Right.
called me that Sunday afternoon, and we've been talking with each other ever since.
Yeah.
And I said, this is, no, seriously though, this is great, a great story to tell, so the youngsters will try to either avoid those circumstances, or circumstances could happen without them getting involved. It could, you know, we hear about this in Chicago all the time. The person that was shot sitting on a porch, they is a stray bullet.
Right.
I mean, the bullet wasn't designed for them, you know, but because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And with all the education that you've had, in spite of, I mean, 34 years old, getting a GED. And after then, the associate degree, and also the Bachelor of Arts degree from a prestigious university, and Rehabilitation Institute and so forth. And now you're ready for employment.
Yes, sir.
And so we recommended, I recommended a couple of places there, and Jerry knew the people for you to call just to get something started, you know. And with all the background experience that you've had, the training that you had, you know, I salute you.
Thank you.
And anything that I can do, or you know, proper referrals to you, I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
So family support, we talked about, we mentioned about guidance by men in the family. So you lost a man in your family, not by choice. I lost a man in my family, not by choice. But life goes on.
Right.
And we want to have the students now, the young adults, understand that life does not stop because you lose a father in the family.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's not your choice. But life goes on. And I want to show them how education is so important.
It's really, because, you know, I don't think a lot of, actually, well, African American, you know, we had grandparents and aunts. They died.
Okay.
Actually got killed, you know, because they were trying to go to school, you know, and they fought, and they didn't have the opportunity that we have, you know, and that's what, you know, I don't understand is that, you know, you out here, you're fighting for nothing, you know, for some money, some drugs or something, you know. What's more important is your education, and it opened up doors for you, you know. The street life, you know, what it's going to do is it's going to slave you as penitentiary, or it's going to just create all problems, or it's going to kill you. That's the only thing that you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, I noticed that in the paper today, every day in the paper, there's someone getting convicted and incarcerated, and today's paper, one person received life in prison. You know, just think about a young man receiving his life, his life is totally gone.
Right.
Because he's going to spend it in prison for the rest of his life, because he have done the things that caused him to be incarcerated. By the way, if a child is having difficulty by the 3rd grade, we got data to show that it's been predicted that that child is going to have difficulty through high school, up to high school, going to be a high school dropout, not the way that you had dropped out. They have difficulty in schooling. You didn't have any difficulty there. You excel. but have difficulty in high school, then become a high school dropout that way. If they drop out of high school, then you know what's going to happen. They're going to do the things that cause them to become incarcerated.
Right.
And once they become incarcerated, that felony is going to be on their back forever. If they get, even if they get out, and they check the box there that they've been in felony, then they cannot get a job. Now, if they cannot get a job, then how can they get married, support a family? Or how can they buy a house, or rent a house, right?
Right.
Apartment. And so they're going to go be incarcerated, going to go right back to prison, and this time they're going to serve out that time or stay longer in prison. This is the story of, and once they get in prison, it costs the state, this is a financial thing, about $40,000, $50,000 a year per inmate. And for the federal prison, it's going to cost maybe $90,000 to $100,000 a year per inmate.
Right.
So this becomes big business. And what's going to happen, these businesses are privatizing the prisons. And so you read about people encouraged to get people in prison so that the prison system can keep advancing. So that's the whole story, briefly, about incarceration. We need guidance by men in the family.
Right.
We have some situations in prison where father and son are in prison. You may have, because I guess the son has followed the father in his...
Because a lot of parents do things around their kids that they shouldn't do. What you put out, that child picks up.
Okay.
You know, it's a behavior. You know, it picks up. If the parents fighting, you know, hitting one another, that child is going to do the same thing.
What about family and child abuse? I think this is what you're kind of alluding to there too. There's a lot of family and child abuse, and like you say, a child sees this, then they're more likely going to be able to do it also. Right? So you got family abuse till the child sees this. You got child abuse,
domestic abuse,
domestic violence, and this type of thing. You know. You mentioned about crisis intervention. That you're a counselor.
That's one of the courses I took. I took crisis intervention, child abuse, domestic violence, behavior modification, which that's dealing with disorders like bipolar, schizophrenic, those things. It was a lot that rape crisis, veterans counseling with family and veterans itself. I took a lot of courses.
You have intake specialists too there.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, intake specialist. Let's see. It's computer skills. Doing intake specialist, I took some courses over at National Lewis that we had to do like case management, do interviews, get the background, the history of the client and everything, put the data in, and basically that's what that is, intake specialist.
You mentioned human services. How were you? You had a course in human services too, right?
Yeah, the course with human services is that basically it's a lot of as resources that's out here in the community, the churches and everything that. If you have a client that needs some type of assistance, that you know, you should be aware of how to refer them to the right agency to get the proper help.
Because they're really, in Lake County,
Mm.
oh my goodness, there's hundreds of agencies out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just waiting to be tapped,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so there's plenty of resources
Mm-hmm.
here in Lake County, probably Cook
Yes.
County too, but I know Lake County we have. There's a real thick book, maybe an inch or two
Yeah.
thick of agencies that's just waiting to be tapped.
Yeah, so in order to be a professional counselor or a provider, you know, you should be aware of these agencies that, you know, for individuals that, you know, that is in need.
Now, all the resources that we've just been describing, you are prepared to
For the challenge,
the
yes,
challenge,
yes. Look, like I said, I'm seeking work, but I'm also I got another mountain that I got to climb. I done did two, and I might have two more. Well, right now, I am going back for my master's.
You are going back.
Yeah.
That's another challenge.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
another mountain that I got to climb. But there's as I learned what I learned about myself, there's no mountain that I can't climb.
Okay.
So I will, you know, I will conquer it.
So this is one of your major goals in your life, right? Right
Yep.
now, at this particular time, right?
Yep, an employment and going back to school.
Okay. So I really salute you. You have. I don't think this was an accident that we met at Toby's
No.
restaurant
God.
there.
Yeah.
That God put
Yeah.
us together for this challenge.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
well,
boy,
see, that's what I told Jerry. I said, see God work in mysterious ways. Do you see what just happened? If I wouldn't have went to church, I wouldn't have met you.
Okay, right. Because from church, dinner after church, and is how we. And you have really eloquently had dialogue about your. And this was very appropriate that you. You say you're an educator,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure that Lake County, you're a person, like I mentioned, that Lake County should know. And we had to do a profile on Freddie Joyner. It's you're a person that Lake County should know. The title of the program is appropriate. We call it Changing.
Change your life.
The change of life. And you have, even though you had some challenging experiences on the west side of Chicago, it has been a change of life for you.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that it will be many changes for other youth or adults, because
Right.
you were an adult at 34 years old
Yes.
when you decided to make this change. You decided yourself that you want to get a GED and also the 4-year degree,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't stopped there. You want to work on your master's now, yeah?
Yes.
You think you may want to go back to the same school?
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be National Lewis. I don't know. Right now, I can't answer that.
Okay.
But I am.
That's your goal, though, is
Yeah.
to get the
Yeah.
master's.
First, I got to get a job. I got to pay for them classes, you know, and
And then there's grants, and
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
hate to think about loans because you
Yeah.
got to pay the loans
Yeah.
back. But there's grants that you can.
yeah.
Have you? What about the VA? We have a VA next door here,
Mm-hmm.
James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked out? Wait a minute, are you a veteran?
No, I'm not a veteran.
Oh, you're not a
No,
veteran.
no,
Okay, okay. I'm gonna say we got veteran services.
No.
Now your ultimate goal, if you get your master's,
Mm-hmm.
what's your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is.
I know employment is
Yeah.
but the main focus.
Well, like I said, It will be returning back to school for my master's. Maybe I might go for my doctorate.
Okay.
You know, it's in my sight. You know, and that will be my ultimate goal. That, you know, if I achieve that, you know, I just had to, you know, see it when I get that, put that diploma in my hand.
Well, I want to thank you very much, and I want you to. I salute you.
Thank you.
I salute you, and I thank you very much for taking time from your busy schedule to accept the challenge of becoming a TV star.
I hope.
And becoming a person to dialogue, to get information to Lake County, to let them know, because you have become totally blind, that the future is great ahead of you, and you are willing to accept the challenge. And I was willing to accept the challenge of having you on the program too.
Thank you.
I want Lake County to
Thank you.
know that we do have that life doesn't stop
No.
just because you're
No.
blind.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Freddie Joyner, North Chicago resident. He's a person that you should know. He's a youth educator, and he did not let the loss of sight prevent him from getting a GED at 43 years old. The community college, DuPage County graduate, and also a 4-year degree, a liberal arts degree from National Lewis College in Lyons, Illinois.
Yes.
And he's presented his background, his credentials, and it is really hope that someone, by the grace of God, will give him an opportunity to achieve his goal in the vocation that he is striving for. And lots of luck on your master's degree.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.